Appreciate you joining me today. Hope you're having a good day. We're going to be looking at the account of the woman who touches the hem of the Lord's garment. And we'll look at that here in just a moment. But our song today is What a Friend We Have in Jesus.
What a friend we have in Jesus, all our sins and griefs to bear. What a privilege to carry everything to God in prayer. Oh, what peace we often forfeit. Oh, what needless pain we bear. Oh, because we do not carry everything to God in prayer.
From Mark chapter 5, verse 25. Now a certain woman had a flow of blood for 12 years, and had suffered many things from many physicians. She had spent all that she had, and was no better, but rather grew worse. When she heard about Jesus, she came behind him in the crowd, and touched his garment, for she said, If only I may touch his clothes, I shall be made well. Immediately the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of the affliction. And Jesus, immediately knowing in himself that power had gone out of him, turned around in the crowd, and said, Who touched my clothes? But his disciples said to him, You see the multitude thronging you, and you say, Who touched me? And he looked around to see her who had done this thing. And she comes and falls down before him and told the whole truth. And he says, Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace, be healed of your affliction. Okay. So just look at verse 26. A few simple points. She had suffered many things from many physicians. And it's a sad thing when we try to figure out our problems ourselves, isn't it? And there's all sorts of people who claim they have the answer. You might think about different religions. You might think about different philosophies. You might think about self-help gurus and things like that. And, in the businesses, they're always wanting you to do, whatever the latest fad is. Going to some seminar somewhere, doing this or doing that, and running hither and yon. And it just wears you out, and just the common man kind of knows, like, these things aren't worth a lick. And you end up just suffering in all these things. This woman, here she was, she had had this infirmity for a long time, and she had suffered at the hand, as it says, suffered at the hands of all those physicians, probably claiming they could heal her. They couldn't do it. Back to our passage, she had spent all that she had. And so, yes, she had suffered at the hand of all those physicians, but she had done it voluntarily. And I understand she's in a hard situation. I'm not saying you should not go to the doctor. She'd gone to the doctor, but not the great physician. So she had spent all that she had. There's something to be said about sincerity. And we recently looked at the parable of the pearl of great price, as well as the hidden treasure. And in those accounts, we spoke about they sold all that they had to buy that field. Well, this woman, and this is not a parable, this woman, she didn't have anything left. She had spent all that she had. She had spent all she had. She lost it all. She had nothing. You might think about, all I know is what it says. She spent all she had. Could you say then that she had even less than the widow with the 2 mites. She spent all that she had voluntarily. And that's the thing. The physicians today, all the self-helpers, all the gurus, all the ones claiming to have answers. And we can easily give everything we have in sincerity and in hope and be wrong. It can happen. The woman, she sincerely hoped those things were the answer, but she was wrong. She was no better, but she rather grew worse. Rather, she grew worse. And this is what happens without the Lord. You know, one would like to think, oh, you just stay as bad as you are. Well, that's bad enough, but that's usually not the reality. That usually you either get better or you get worse. And if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. Very, very rarely is it static. And so this woman, she was dying. She'd had this for a long time already. She's dying. She can feel that she's dying. We know she can feel that she's dying because she feels when she's healed. And so she's getting worse. Where are we without the Lord? Without truly following the Lord. Just think about that day and age. Oh, you could follow the Pharisees, you could follow the Sadducees, you could follow the Herodians, you could follow the Zealots, you could follow the Samaritans, you could follow the philosophers in Greece, you could follow whoever. You could follow the pagan gods. And you know what? You're just going to get worse and worse and worse. Until you finally just follow the Lord. Just follow the Lord. And so when she hears about Jesus, she says, oh, I just touched the hem of his garment. And you have the account. Appreciate you. Hope you have a good day. Join us tomorrow for another portion of our daily praise.